You know what though? Like because I grew up, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I would like, the what's his name? Like Smarter I'm or something like that. Like the automated like person you have like
Jeeves?
No. It's like on an AOL Messenger. You could just talk to nobody.
Clippy?
No.
I know you're not talking about Clippy. I know you're not talking about Clippy, but let's not, please don't erase Clippy's legacy. Okay?
My old friend.
And if Clippy's your only friend, don't kink shame.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
look,
some people like
Clippy
Clippy.
threw the first brick at Stonewall so that we could be
Nobody
here
died
today.
at Stonewall?
Nobody died?
Nobody
died?
People died.
But on that note, let's start the episode. Click.
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, why don't you come over and talk about it?
Mono, Andrew famously knows when I'm referencing niche gay things for no reason.
We talked about bottoming last episode, and there's a clip of him just like
It's because
smile and nod.
we had a mutual
I'm an
friend
ally.
of
I'm an ally.
mine.
I love that.
Yeah, he's an ally. And one of our mutual friends was like, "Are you a top or a bottom?" And I was like, "Bleep all this out of the episode." And then I was just like, like talking to him. And then Andrew was like, mm-hmm.
I just talked about, I don't always talk about bottoming, but we just talked about bottoming on the podcast, and it was good. It was a good conversation.
Well, speaking of bottoming on the podcasts, we should introduce the episode and you talk about your podcasts. Here we go. Sorry, transitioning. Yeah. Well, welcome back from the break to I've Mean to Listen to That with our host. I'm Michael Limentato.
I'm Andrew Ambersley.
Oh, we're going out of order. I'm Sean
Yeah,
Wilkinson.
And we have our special guest, Mano Agapion, with us. Mano Agapion. Sorry.
I don't care. No, that's great.
People always do something different, so I'm just
Yeah, no, I don't
so.
care. It's I'm here.
Present.
I've listened to his podcast and online personality for a very long time. I feel very lucky to have Mano on the podcast with us today. He is the host of Drag Her and podcast Kill the Video Star. And I've not yet heard We Love Trash, but I do love Betsy Sodero. I think you both are very funny. We have
thanks.
Mano Agapion on the podcast.
Bring it to the runway. Run.
Flash snapshot. We want you to remember me.
What runway song would you die? Like, what runway song would really take the wind out of your sails if you had to walk to it? You're like, fuck. I have to walk to fucking Spotlight.
I kind of like Spotlight.
I don't hate Spotlight.
I think like it would be like Call Me one of the like actually bad RuPaul songs that are like maybe stolen from Azealia Banks. Like those are the ones I would not want to do.
Like Happy Birthday. Happy birthday.
Or the Christmas Cheer, the one where him and Michelle Visage like fake lip synced and did the splits.
Yeah,
that could be it.
There was a country one, not the one at All Star 6, but there was a country one they did for a mini challenge early on in season 10 that is abominable.
Oh my god, yes, I remember that when Dusty Ray Bottoms is still on the season.
Yes,
it was crazy,
awful.
Yeah, and
they fucking forced what's his name from E to kind of show up via iPad. That one. I was so thankful that the show still feels like it's run by 3 gay uncles high on poppers, and it is. So that is, it gives us gifts in the gay community. I don't want it to get too polished.
Mm-hmm.
No, it needs to stay a little messy.
Yeah.
By the way, the runway song I'll get winded to is "Ode to Joy" by Beethoven. But welcome to
Andrew knows a lot about RuPaul.
Yeah. But welcome to the show. Welcome to our season, our mini series finale for now on Charli XCX called Pod 2
November 1 Angel.
November pod 2, November 1 Angel, parenthetical how I'm podcasting right now. So and yeah, from Boom Clap to Vroom Vroom, we're talking about Charli XCX. So Mano gave it the cursing.
I'm just glad we're not talking about Boom Clap personally.
Not a fan?
No, I thought that I don't. That's one of because I like. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. But like that song to me is like one of the songs where she really reaches across the aisle in a bad way.
Yes,
Like I don't want that. I don't want that for her. I want her to be weird.
Yeah. Well, what is your history with Charli XCX?
Like, and I'm like a fair weather fan, but like every time I hear her, I'm like, yeah, I like this. You know what I mean? Like I'm enjoying this. Of course, I feel like very introduced to her by the song by fucking Icona Pop. That was the first time I knew of Charli XCX.
How much do you like that song? Do you hate it? Do you?
Can't deny that song. As much as it has now become the white people wedding song of the decade.
I've been walked down my aisle to I Love It by Icona Pop, so get ready for that.
Yeah, anyways. And it feels like Icona Pop kind of needed her, everything said and done, because my God, where are they? But yeah, no, I thought my first introduction to Charli XCX.
Like they play like a two-headed giraffe or something in Trolls.
What?
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Do they say it gets better like the other famous lesbians who have been on animated kids movies?
I no comment. So yeah, but like I remember in the DM correspondence we had, like
yes,
you actually like you said, I'm actually not familiar with Charli DVD. Like in the, like it was like autocorrect, but like that's kind of like the extent of it. You're not
Jesus
familiar.
Christ. That made me sound like I was 85. Like I love a Charli DVD. Let me crack out. Yeah, let me get the old Westinghouse DVD /VCR player.
Back in my day.
But yeah, I'm a fair weather.
We used to go down to the soda fountain and listen to the picture show, Charli DVD.
That's when Papa had an Edsel. And here's the thing with Edsels, you gotta know. You gotta crank them from behind. Yeah, it's very old. It's very old. But no, I'm always just a fan, but I have never like really dove deep. My boyfriend has some very cool younger friends. And Charli XCX is always on because they're actually cool in listening to Charli XCX. And I remember this album specifically, especially because we all needed something. We were all, holding on to metaphorical planks of wood in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, like Rose and not Jack. And this album came out at a very good time.
So were you aware, like, did you listen to or were you aware of this particular album? Like,
yes, well, when I went to go re-listen for this podcast, I was like, this song. There was like 4 songs in particular, I think, that I was like, yeah, I know this song. But for whatever reason, I didn't know them to the point where like this song is named this. I was just like, oh yeah, I like this song.
Yeah. I remember like when it came out, I listened to it for like a week straight and was really into it. And then didn't touch it again. And listening to it again, I was like, oh yeah. Oh
yeah. Part of this album, it a little bit, you guys know that thing that we all hate right now, where if something references COVID, it's like too soon, right?
Right.
Like have you guys seen The Morning Show?
Oh, I saw the first season, but not I haven't seen the second
season 2 is all about COVID. They freaking love COVID on season 2.
Sucks.
It's really hard to. It's like too soon. It's really hard to watch. And it's just like because everyone's like it's the start of COVID, so they're like, okay, COVID, and it's very like and I feel like this album is like it was made during COVID. It was collabed with fans because of COVID. Like
I didn't know that.
She would send out like links on her Twitter being like, watch me write detonate or whatever.
Wow.
And would like throw stuff out and put out polls. And it was very fun. It was very like unique. And I was kind of aware of that. So the whole album is a lot about, sorry, not to talk about themes, but like it's about COVID to some degree.
It is sad, COVID. Which I appreciate. It's fucking sad. Like,
yes. Are you a fan of sad music?
Yeah. Because I feel like it's a little more authentic to me in general. So I'm generally here for a sad pop moment. And also like that's the music I like gravitated to in my formative years because I am 36.
ditto.
And I really gravitated towards like Garbage, like it's just one example of like Garbage and Shirley Manson. She was really my diva because, and also I loved their sound because it was like kind of electronic rock pop moment. And I very much gravitated towards their, ennui, if you will. Yeah, they're sad, and I liked it. I was like, this makes sense to me.
So like Michael, like you're kind of like the resident like Charli expert. Like you're the biggest fan of the four of us. What was your experience with like this rollout of this album? Like, did you participate in like the process of like?
Yeah, I watched a few of the streams.
Wow.
I was extremely depressed by COVID. I mean, this is not me claiming it. Not me. Yeah,
extremely.
Extreme. I was extreme. I'm sorry. I said extreme. But I meant extreming. Extreming.
DVDs.
Thank you. If we are not watching DVDs and VHS tapes, why do we have all this VHS cleaner around? Come on, guys. Explain that. No, I mean, this is not a unique experience to me, but it was like immediately following like me like having like a huge existential crisis about like global warming, which is still happening, but I've been able to diminish it through therapy. Awesome. But like following that into COVID, into like Charli XCX being like, yeah, I'm sad and I don't know how to make this next album. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if Charli XCX is too sad to make an album, like who can do it? Who among us?
True.
You know what I mean?
And I've seen her fucking dancing on top of Peach's castle. And if she's sad, then what fucking hope do any of us have?
I remember like listening to this album and like in Enemy, there's like a little clip of her like post-therapy recording. Like she just recorded herself post-therapy. Like
it's like a tough journey.
Like I did not recognize it. I thought it was like a Maya Angelou like sample like or something like that. I did not think it was her. I thought she was like, oh, she's sampling an old thing. And like I was like kind of, because when she uses her speaking voice, she's like, it's me, Charli XCX. Check out my new single. Like whatever. So it's like, it was very strange. It was like a really revelatory moment.
We've had a lot of like British ladies talking on their songs lately. Or maybe that's just because I've been like listening to 30 a whole bunch. Yeah. And she's like talking on every track in the album.
Have y'all seen that video clip flying around the internet where Adele meets her teacher again?
Yes.
Fun.
Yeah,
yes.
That was pretty cute.
It makes me like, yeah, it's really cute, but it's also like, ooh, Adele has to be so like, on her like 3 months a year, every like 5 years that she comes out of her shell, she has to be like the most emotionally available person on the planet. Like you have to watch her like re-meet her old elementary school teacher and be like, can I have your phone number? And then crying. And I'm like, that'd be so tiring to do all the time.
I just imagine also her little kids like just shitting their pants for like Adele's coming to eat fucking Brunswick stew at our house. Like that blows my mind. Like,
Bangers and mash.
Thank you. I was thinking, what's the one with the potatoes on top and then there's meat underneath? That's very British. That Gordon Ramsay's always like, you better fucking make this
Spotted
right.
Dick?
Not Spotted Dick, no.
Oh, beef Wellington?
If you have any, I'll take some. No, okay, whatever. I'll think of it. Keep going.
Shepherd's pie?
That's it.
Yeah,
it.
I think it's
it's
just Spotted Dick. What's wrong with you? But like, yeah. So you watch,
what's wrong with you? Whoa, Andrew! Whoa.
I'm sorry, but like, Michael. So like, you watch some of these streams. You're like, you're really depressed.
And so I was really, really anticipatory of the album. I kind of knew what the album sounded like to some degree before it even came out, but it's very satisfying end result. I think. Like, I don't know. It's an album that I will let like sit for a long time. I don't like listen to certain tracks all the time, but it'll go back in like the rotation as like a full album for a couple weeks, you know, and then fall back.
Well, it's nice too, like how short it is. Also,
it's
super
very replayable too. You know,
I don't think any album should be longer than this. Like,
I agree.
We talked about
it.
We had a month where we did Dolly Parton albums, and like all of her albums are like 25-30 minutes, and it's great.
It's perfect.
Because we're also like debating, like, you know, because we're going to do a later Dolly album, and I was like, her latest one, like Backwoods Barbie or something like that, is like an hour long. And I was like, I'm not gonna read that novel, basically.
Sorry, Tom.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too long. That's too long. And like also like I guess Chromatica came out, in 2020, and it was also like a very digestible album. And I think I really appreciate that. I'm just like, cool, we're in, we're out. I don't know. And then I feel like you're gonna go back more to it as opposed to being like, I'll never do this again.
Right.
If an album's too long, it usually has like, I'm sorry, artist songs they're like, I have to have on this album. And sometimes it's like, maybe that didn't have to be on the album, but
right.
like it adds a lot of bloat to albums.
But
maybe it's an EP. I don't know.
But it's also like
Exactly.
sometimes I would rather have more material to like whittle down myself than like kind of too little to like go like, oh, I don't know about all these songs. Like I don't know about these 5 songs.
Sure, it's like the more content you have to put out, the more likely you are to get like more hits too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't know if that makes
like
sense.
Drake kind of like just like has a billion songs to like game the system and like win a lot of streams. And like but for me, I was aware of this album. I was not a huge Charli XCX fan. We'll kind of get to the end and say like, am I a Charli XCX fan now? But like I was aware of this album. I knew that she made it during COVID. I did not follow along with any of the stuff. And I really loved Claws. I think that song was a single that I really liked. That was awesome music video, very cheeky, very fun. But that's really like I think because I was not as familiar with Charli XCX, the fact that it had no features was like kind of like, oh, this is a lot of Charli. This is a lot of like distorted like bass and like the unconventional like instrumentals and stuff like that, like the clippy like all that stuff. Speaking of my best friend,
your bestie.
Clippy's all over this album.
Everyone, let's take a moment of silence for Clippy, for the path he bounced along, so that we can get on here and gab like the fucking homos we are.
I'll like close my ears. I was not.
I loved this album. I love this album. I'll say that right now.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Andrew? I think it's great.
Oh, I think it's great. I think the first time I listened through it, like when I was like before we did this series, like this 4-episode series, I was like, oh, this is a lot of Charli. This is a lot of just like, and I'd never finished it. I went through like 5 songs and I liked all 5 songs, but like I need to sit down and digest this. But I was like so busy with like during COVID era that I was like, oh, I never got around to it. So this is like
famously everyone was really busy during COVID.
yeah.
I think why like this album spoke to me was like I like music. I love pop. I love music that's popcorny. I really think that approachability and how do I say this? Like welcoming in the audience sometime is like seen as cheap music, but to me, like that's the best. That's also to me some of the best kind of comedy is just like, here it is, here's the joke. So I think the same thing appeals to me in music where it's like, here's the song. Guess what? The beat's awesome. You're having fun. Here's the chorus.
Right.
And I think I don't know. Sometimes that can be really undervalued, and that's why I think albums like this really speak to what I like in music, which is like we're having fun, we're in, we're out. Bye.
But if you wanted to digest it further, there's stuff here. There's like depth and like sadness and like this is our most vulnerable in my opinion. But yeah,
and it's really interesting too because like it's Andrew, like you said, it's full of just like weird sound design and like weird nasty noises and but yeah, at the same time it's still like this is all very accessible and it's a weird
interesting I
don't know how she does it.
It's pop music. It's not like a weird art piece that like like a guy like a person like naked dripping in honey or something like that. It's like it's a digestible album.
I love that
basically. Good.
And I don't know why I'm comparing her to Grimes, but I think for my money, like Grimes is great, musical genius, but I think for my money, I think I would rather hang out with Charli XCX.
Oh, absolutely.
Hang out with.
You're gonna hang out with
I know. I kind of surprised you there. I was actually just like, I don't know why. Like I appreciate the to me, you know what? It's braver to be like, I think this is pop than to be like, I think this is art, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's something
yeah.
braver about being like, I want this to be actually enjoyed. I like that takes a lot of guts.
Well, and famously, Grimes is really brave. She'll read the Marx manifesto in public next to a stop sign.
Yeah.
She'll, marry weirdos.
Jesus, but then divorce them.
I don't think they're married. I don't think they're ever married.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she didn't even get any money. I mean,
because that was a tweet she had. Like, Elon's not paying for any of this. I'm doing it myself. I was like, why are you doing it that way?
Yeah, don't brag about that. That actually makes me feel like you don't understand what to do. Like,
better steal some fucking flamethrowers on your way out, girl.
Literally.
Come on.
Literally.
Yeah. Also, how dangerous to divorce the man who has multiple flamethrowers in his house, or whatever. Just breaking up is like, damn. Hope she doesn't get mad.
Were you aware of when Azalea Banks went to their house because she was supposed to collab with Grimes?
I don't know this. No,
you don't know about this.
No, I
and
don't.
She was live Instagramming and tweeting because Grimes and Elon were not home, and she got to stay at their house for some reason. Like, she would wander around their house. Like, there were videos of her taking baths, interacting with the house staff of the house. It was really crazy. And then she told this story, which I can't be true, that Elon Musk came home high on shrooms, and Grimes had to keep trying to take his phone away from him, and then yelled at Azalea Banks and kicked her out of the house. Because Azalea Banks was like, I don't know.
I mean, she's also poorly behaved, so who knows?
But what the last Azalea Banks thing? I know Sean's please no more. But the idea of when Grimes and Elon broke up. Azalea had a tweet where she's like, oh, thank God, we can finally make music again now that you've broken up with apartheid Clyde or something like that.
Wow.
So good. Excellent. It's excellent. Love her.
Azalea has done some good things. Not all good things, but some good things.
I hate people like that. That are sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're fucking awful. It's I don't know how to feel about you.
Right. Right. I guess I'll keep you in my orbit, maybe not my close circle.
Right.
She's left her mark. You can say that.
Sure has.
That's true.
Sure has.
So what do you feel are the themes of this album? Do you feel?
Just me?
Sure.
Sad. No, Sean, you go. My main takeaway was sad.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the sad. Love my boyfriend, and I'm sad because of COVID. Because I mean, COVID's the big overarching. Because obviously, like we said, she made this in lockdown, but also too, I think it's interesting that up until now we've kind of seen Charli as going out and partying and doing drugs as a front for her feelings, basically. So she doesn't have to kind of confront her feelings head on. So that's the other thing. Revisiting this album, I was like, oh, it's just really interesting because and I think a lot of us had the same thing, but COVID forced us to really, face our feelings head on, sit with them. And so I think for Charli, that's probably a terrifying thing to do.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting to kind of dive into that a little bit more.
But it's also COVID, typically pre-COVID, you go to work for 9 to 5 or whatever, and then you go to a movie or you go out or something, you have a party or something like that. And then maybe you'll have an hour of therapy. That's the time you set aside for I'm going to work. I'm going to what's my deal? Basically. Where COVID kind of made people there's too much time to.
I feel like you're really letting us into your process. So before you go to a party, you sit down and you go,
see a
okay,
movie.
what's wrong with me? I have 30 minutes. It sounds nice. I don't know if I've done that. It sounds helpful. I just repress, and then I have
me too.
I have a dream where I'm fucking an alligator, and I'm like, what did that mean?
I don't have time. Gotta go.
Yeah, I don't have time. I gotta go to a party.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so she has she talked about in some of the notes of in an interview or something like that. She said, when COVID hit and 2 weeks, I was just in this pit of because she's a pop star. She talked about how her and her boyfriend were long distance for a while, and when they were together, she was so busy because she's a pop star and making music and touring and going like, "Hey, it's me, Charli," and stuff like that. That she didn't have time to really sit down and like kind of with her feelings, with like her boyfriend and all that stuff. And like this is kind of the first time she's like settled down in a house and like with her boyfriend. Like they moved in together and like they finally like are living together basically. But then she talks about like how I can't sit down and do nothing. Otherwise, I'm going to have this pit of despair and depression. So I'm going to make myself make an album in like 6 weeks, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then just
That's
like something to do, basically. Yeah.
That's fucking 6 weeks is really fucking crazy because I
know. Time to
great.
quality
Yeah.
is insane on this one. Yeah.
Totally.
This like kind of definitely prove I know like a lot of this is should be credited to the producers. Like they are half of the reason why this album is great. But like it seems like the process was she wrote the song, she came up with a lot of the melodies, and then she let like A.G. Cook and the other folks go like, here, take B.J. Burton and stuff like go like, here, take this. And then they went crazy and did all like a bunch of wacky stuff. And like they made it that way, kind of.
We love the wacky stuff on this album too. It's so good.
I'm here for it. I mean, even the beginning and outro where we're like, we get it. There's a theme. We have the distortion. Okay, we're here for it. It's very random access memories. Cool. Here we go.
Right.
I'm fucking an alligator.
Those are the only, for me, I'll speak from my own experience.
Yeah.
Those moments are the only ones where I'm more like, see, I'm the worst because I'm like, let's get to the actual song. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just like, okay. And this is just my opinion. I'm just like, who's enjoying the distortion? I guess.
You know what, Mano? I think that when I'm at live stand-up, whenever a comedian takes a breath or takes a sip of water, I'm like, get that water off the fucking stage. Stop breathing. Keep telling me some jokes. That's what I'm here for.
Fuck. But the
I say, why are you making me wear this mask? I want to laugh. I want to laugh big laughs, and you're not letting me do it. I have to wear this mask.
Okay, I get it. I see this for us now. But I'm just saying,
and I want him to just power through the jokes. If people are laughing, keep talking.
Yeah, but a recorded album is different than a stand-up set. You know what I'm saying? That's
I don't
like
think so.
They're the same.
that's
No
like
way.
no, hold on. That's like saying like, you know what? My favorite part of the sitcom is when they walk away, take a sip of water, kind of just like see what's in the room. Like when Jim and Pam are just like, let's just look around the office. Like let's just pause everything. Let's just like kind of see what's under this desk. Like I'm like, okay, but what's happening in the episode? That's just me. I'm very difficult.
No, I do get it, but I have to really disagree with you on this.
I respect
Motto.
that.
Like,
You have to.
I have to. I'm sorry.
I really respect
part
that.
of the song is Charli's music isn't like listening to Charli's amazing singing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like she's a good singer, but she's not like technically incredible at singing. Like she's not an Adele or like even like Alana, who you want to hear their voice,
Or a Paris
She's
Hilton.
like, or a Paris Hilton. Stars Are Blind, best song of all time.
Best song ever written.
I'm always thinking like, God, I want to hear Paris Hilton's voice today. Yeah.
Which one is the real question, right?
But also too, I think with this album, it's like, I think the weird like distortedness and just kind of how all over the place it seems is also just like, again, a reflection of how she's feeling now. You know,
That's the name of the album.
Golf clap. Remember Clippy. But like, Michael, like, what themes were you kind of picking up on this one?
Oh, it's definitely about like being sad and feeling like I'm by myself for the first time, so I'm having to figure all this stuff out. Like I'm having a lot of time on my hands. I don't know what to do with it. You know, do I even like what I do? Do I like who I am? You know, and that's like tough. Like nobody, I feel like, if you're going through life and you don't have these thoughts, you just haven't addressed them yet. You know what I mean? And I think her processing of it is like really like it speaks. It's like a very artistic and like is a way to consume art that I feel like I can actually like put out something. Like I get something from it. Like sometimes I see a painting and people are like, oh my gosh, you could tell, you know, whatever from this painting. I'm like, I don't get any of that. I'm not great at consuming art sometimes, so I appreciate that Charli's packaged this and like, hey, hey, gay, hi, gay, you want some music? And then it's like, yeah, I do want some of that. And then she's like, okay, let me tell you about how depressed I am and how hard it is to figure out who I am. I'm like, I didn't want to be thinking about that, but I
kind of taking it back there. Yeah,
it's also
this part of her plan to keep people from bringing dildos and poppers to her shows, so that way she's for her to sign her ashes, so that she can have normal meet and greets again. Make all the gays go to therapy.
No alligators I want to fuck. Bringing those.
This is a very well thought out plan from her.
But like, it's very, because the start of the series, I was like, I don't get what her deal is. I don't know who she is. Like, she always talks about like how hot she is and like, I love my friends and stuff, and like it's kind of like, okay, that's great, but I don't know how I could like talk about that for like 4 weeks basically. I don't know how interesting that would be, but like it's kind of like how, if you meet someone and they like go too hard in the paint with vulnerability, like kind of like like that's like upsetting, and that's like stay away from me. They're like, yeah, my mom like she's having this like I like that's not some like it's not like a first.
How did you know that's happening to me? How did you know that?
That big.
Mano, before sorry, Andrew's talking about the things you talked about. Before we started recording,
it feels like an asymmetrical attack.
But like this is like, I like that, like we're kind of like, she's like, hey, it's me, cool Charlie, and then like over time like,
I'm gonna talk about my friends for 4 weeks, yeah. No, she's not like that,
but like she like it's kind of like she's letting us in slowly, like I think that's really cool, like, and it's getting more and more vulnerable and stuff like that. So it's like with the pandemic, it like I think the central question, like it's kind of asking, is like, take away my friends, take away, partying, take away like all this stuff. Like, who am I now? Like, and like, this is one of the first like albums she's had like very little, no features. Like she's like, her producers are kind of the features in a way. So like, can she carry a whole album with like what she's thinking and what she's feeling? And the question, I feel like unequivocally, yes. Like I think there's so much here. I think
with help from shortening it to 30 minutes too. Although I guess her older ones are.
Yeah, I mean, Pop 2 is 40 minutes and like 37 seconds long. It's like not very long.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think that this exemplifies, like, we talked about Pop 2 with Oscar.
Okay.
And I gave Pop 2 like a great rating. And then we just did Charli, and I gave Charli, the self-titled album, a bad score for her.
Okay.
And
interesting,
because I feel like it's too long, it's really bloated. This has no fat. Like there are no songs I want to take off this album, or I think deserve to be taken off. And I think that's because she like basically made this album herself. And I think she's realizing like she doesn't need all the features. Like she needs to have a collaborative atmosphere, but it works so well without any features. Like I don't feel they're missing. Like on her other albums, on her solo songs, I'm like, I wish this one had a feature too. Whereas I don't wish this album had features.
Yeah, that'd be strange. So. Yeah, it's also like it's another thing to like say like, here's a book of poems I wrote and stuff like that in pandemic and times. Like it's just like words, but like she's so good at crafting melodies. She's so good at like crafting. Like some of these songs have like 5, 6 hooks in them in the same song, and like that's really like. Obviously the producers like add on to it, like enhance the experience so much, but just her genius in like that 6-week period is like really apparent in my opinion. Yeah.
I couldn't make like a meal.
And one time you invited us over, and that was the worst 6 weeks of my life. It's just like,
I'm like, dinner's almost ready.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I have rent. I have to pay rent. It's been a month.
I'm yelling at my boyfriend. I'm like, play the piano for them. Play the piano for them.
Guess I'll pet the dog again.
Yeah. Like, just hold tight.
But also too, like, I guess it's different if like her producers are assigned to help her with the album. But I was like, because Michael, you said this is like a quarantine album, and she got help from the fans and stuff. So it's also like, or no, but you just said she's doing streams, right?
Yeah,
Because she didn't like send stuff off to people to be like, add a hook to
put
this.
some stuff on Twitter. She wasn't like, do work for me. It was like,
Okay.
what do you think of this? It wasn't like,
Oh, okay.
Charli XCX featuring Coca-Cola, like become Charli Cola's next ad song or whatever. Like it wasn't like send stuff into me when a competition. Yeah.
Well, then we can ignore everything I've just said.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was doing that anyways.
If we could mute Sean, that would be great.
This is how
All
it
right.
usually goes anyway.
Man.
I was listening back to one of our episodes recently, and Sean tries to start one point like 9 times. And I'm like, I'm gonna.
Damn.
Well, I
Trying to
realized
work on
too, I realized I would never be good at improv because improv is very much like getting pulled off track so much. And it's like, oh, I fucking lose my mind. Like I can't do that.
Mano, I would always hear you on Spontanea Nation when Puff Topics was doing Spontanea Nation. Like I remember when you would go on that, and I always thought Spontanea Nation was so like clever, but it would be so hard to do like audio improv. Some of it's like total
It's
nonsense.
challenging, yeah.
Right? But without even physical comedy or like being able to necessarily like see when someone else is like struggling.
Right.
I mean, I realize you were in the same room.
Well, that's why you have to be so heavy-handed and inelegant, honestly, to especially do that kind of improv. You just have to be like, "Hi, Mom, it's me, your daughter. It's my birthday today. Why did you get me a piece of shit in a box?" Like, you just have to lay it out.
Classic
and
episode,
then you can have
like
fun.
a spont.
Right?
I remember one time 2 characters on it were kissing, and someone went like, and someone else goes, "Oh my God, there's a helicopter outside." And that has stuck with me. Okay, sorry, I got off track talking about something.
Yeah, any other themes on this album you're picking up? Like,
I feel like we hit them all.
Yeah, I don't know if, you know what, it's too fresh. Like, honestly, it's almost too fresh to even, for me, to extrapolate a theme, right? Because it's like, I almost feel like you're like, and I mean this just to get the conversation going, like, it's like, how do you feel about the house fire? You're like, you mean the house fire I'm in right now? You mean like,
that's what, you mean the house trying to hit on?
Because the 2x4 just hit my head. You want to, how do we talk about what's still kind of happening in a way?
What are the themes of that, like, house fire?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's what I was trying to get at when I was talking about like,
extrapolating some pain and like some
right.
Yeah.
It seems like bad things were happening.
Yeah.
Are not still happening now.
Right.
But honestly, if Mana were waiting to recover from trauma to see past trauma, we will never be able to until we die see past trauma.
That's true.
So,
that's really true. Okay, therapist.
And that's okay.
Come on, BetterHelp. Okay.
Yeah. Use code Michael Wants to Die at checkout for 10% off.
So, like, I think like the last thing I just like want to point out though is like it's kind of she's struggling with like these self-destructive, like she's talking about with her therapist, like, I hate myself. I like don't like myself very much. And like that's like, so like, how do I love my boyfriend? You know, my boyfriend is offering me the support. He's saying that I know he loves me even though I hate myself. And like I'm afraid of self-destructing. I'm afraid of self-destructing and taking him with me. So like there's that. I think Detonate and Enemy are crucial to the album working, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I would say it's almost irresponsible to not have those songs on this album. But like the idea of, so then it's also like she's practiced to combat that. She's practicing gratefulness. And that's what we needed to do during, that's what we need to do. That's what we had to do is like, what are we grateful for? Like, I've had this boyfriend for 7 years. That's incredible. Like that time flew by and stuff like that. It's really
well. I can also like my boyfriend's a hairstylist and I'm an accountant. Day to day. I know. I
fucking gay. I'm kidding.
I know.
What if this is like the revelation, like in this episode? Like, Mano's really homophobic.
My boyfriend's gay.
No, that's honestly, dude, that's kind of nasty.
Yeah, no, totally. But I was so used to, he would be out of the house Tuesday through Saturday, and I would go into the office Monday through Friday, right? So I would have a day totally myself at home, and he would have a day totally to himself at home on Mondays, right? And then when COVID happened, we're like together all the time. I literally work from home every day still now, right? And I will work at home in my position every day, right? But I just feel like you also have to like really come to terms with like, here's my partner that I live with. And that's what I get a lot from this album, which is like, I had to learn how to live with my partner and how to like make it still romantic. Like she has that line or something that's like, have sex me and my Romeo, he says I'm irresistible. And it's like she gives off the vibe that she doesn't even believe it. She's just like, oh, he's just saying it because he's like, he loves me, I don't love me, whatever. And all that was stuff I was like, oh my God, I had to like work through this, you know? And it's that like forced intimacy you have to have with someone else, and it's like, how do you reckon with that?
And it can make or like, I mean, it makes you or breaks like the relationship.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
I similar had that thing happen with the boyfriend over the pandemic, both working at home. I liked it. I gotta say, it was, I don't know, it was weird. You know, it was weird when someone else is, okay, when you're both alone in your weird digital holes, like alone together, remember that whole thing? But like, I literally felt that where it was like, I'm staring down the barrel of my stupid computer, but someone else is too, and we're together in that.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so sweet.
And it's like the internet is like, she's utilizing the internet as a collaborative means, but like it's isolating at the same time. We're just like, it's strange. I'm talking to 4 of my friends and I'm looking at a computer in my room. It's weird, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's really awesome.
Is the 4th friend on this Clippy or G?
Clip, no. The only one I want taking the wheel is Clippy. Clippy, take the wheel, okay?
Michael, what's the difference between the two?
Ooh. The best question.
Clippy sure saved me.
Clippy died for your sins.
Clippy did rise on the 3rd download. Clippy did rise.
On that note, let's take. He rose again and said, "Can I help you?" Like, anyways. On that note, let's take a break. Click. Welcome back. Let's talk about highlights. Let's talk about or lowlights. I don't have a lot of lowlights, but what do you feel?
Let's start with lowlights.
Okay.
Then.
Okay.
None.
Oh
no.
Oh, shit.
I also really have like no lowlights for this.
Yeah.
There's some that are like a little more forgettable.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
worst of it, really. Yeah.
It's so like if I'm listening to it as a
which one?
whole, which ones are
He's
forgettable?
Put the knife down.
Give me
It's okay. It's okay.
I've got all my fingers. So no, chop. Tell me which one, Sean.
C 2.0. I don't.
Yeah.
Really
Not correct.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm
No,
playing. You don't hear it if I'm playing on my computer, do you? Do you hear anything?
No.
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure because I'm just refreshing my brain.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll report back, but I do remember. Yeah, there's just tiny lulls, not big ones. Just ones where you're like, oh, okay, this one's good, as opposed to like, oh, this is great. Like Party for You, great. It's a peak. That one's kind of broken through, right? Like that one's is that a proper single?
What about the parts of that song, Mano, where there's just like instrumentation or production going on? What do you think of that part?
That
Filler,
works
as you might
because
call
it's going somewhere. We're on a journey. It's like
Yeah.
when you're stopping, and please disagree with me. If you're like you're on the road, someone you're like, do you want to like stop at this restaurant to eat something? It's like, yes, there's a purpose there. But if someone's like, hey, there's a broken down Kmart on the way, do we stop there?
Hell yeah.
You would drop stop there and drop your friend off.
Yeah.
And then
You love the
keep going.
Kmart. You love the Kmart.
This is your place.
Party for You is like I think the only reason I feel like it's a lower light, it's not even a low, I think it's a great song, but like Michael's frowning a little bit, but like the only reason I feel it's a little lower is like she wrote the song before, pandemic and stuff like that. The idea of, and that feels a little weird. I think it's like the idea that she's like, I threw this party for you. Like, how come you didn't show, you made me feel not loved or whatever. It feels a little out of place at this like kind of,
I think it still works though. It reminds me of for my birthday during during COVID. That's just what this
Jake Gyllenhaal didn't show up. Like,
no, for my birthday, I was so like, I want people to, because my first birthday was right after like everyone went in quarantine for the first time, right? It was in March. And then so in
Your first birthday? Wow.
Yeah,
How old are you? Like 2 or 3 now?
my first pandemic birthday was
You look
was
awful
then. And
for
then
your age, may I say.
I really, I mean, some people even know my actual age and tell me that, so don't worry about it, Mano.
You're like coworker, baby. He's not a boss yet. I don't know. That wasn't good.
Okay, let me finish the story. I'm sorry. I know I keep monologuing. I'm sorry.
Monologuing.
But monologuing, yeah. And my second birthday, I was like, I wish that it was like before everyone got vaccinated too. You know what I mean? Like it was like right at that same, like, I can't responsibly get people together. So it's just like, I fucking hate this. Like, I'm pissed. I wanted to have a nice, fun birthday. I thought we'd have the vaccine by now. Like, da-da-da. Like, I was like in the worst mood ever. And I left to go to the grocery shopping. And my boyfriend got popcorn and rented. We watch like dumb action movies together. Like, if we're just wanted to have like a really fun time. And we watched, oh my God, John Wick. We watched the third John Wick, which he rented. Yeah. And he also got little bundt cakes from this place that I like too. And was like, happy birthday when I got back. And I was like, it was very sweet. And that's what like Party for You makes me think of. Got it. Is like when Hayden did that, and it felt like a birthday party just because it was like, I love to go see a movie in a movie theater. And that I expressed that all the time during COVID. I was like, I miss movie theaters.
Yeah.
And he like got movie theater popcorn. Like he went to the movie theater and like bought movie theater popcorn. So it was like,
that's nice.
You know, it's like I threw this party for you. You know what I mean? Like this is what I want you to feel. That made me like cry, and I was like, and I think Party for You, even though it was written before the pandemic, she kept it on because it can still be applied like in that specific way.
Yeah, I really like the song for some reason, but I really like it too. I don't know why it speaks. Some part of it speaks to me, maybe because there's like some sort of like Kelly Kapowski, Zach Morris energy, you know, when they're like dancing alone outside of the gymnasium. It's like they're at the dance, but they're not at the dance. Like this, it's giving that. Yeah.
It's a very specific feeling that's like hard to describe. Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I'll just say really quick. I'm the thirsty bitch who, especially through college, was like went out to try to like see one guy in particular. And it brings back those memories of being like, God, I was thirsty for dick.
Who among us has not done something way too desperate for dick? Aside from Andrew, probably.
Pot of dick. I love that. Love that dish. Yeah. I like this song. I'm not saying I don't like the song. I'm just feeling like, that was the only feeling I had. I like, and Party on You is a really evocative, like sexy kind of turn of phrase. I think that's awesome. Sean, you were saying something about C2, like C2.0 though, like.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
About their friends.
I have nothing to say about what?
It's about Charlie's friends. She misses them. Like,
it goes, I'm next level so legit song. With all my click, 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 click.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think that. I'm listening. I'm just doing a refresh in my brain right now because I'm not super well.
Me too.
Yeah, it's fine. It just doesn't pop like the other ones.
Well, Michael, you said this was better than the original Click.
Than Click, yeah, with Kim Petras and I said Kim Petras and Slater was what I was going to say. But that's the Girls Only remix with Kim Petras and
Tommy Cash, I think, or something like that.
Tommy Cash, yeah. I think this is superior to me. It does a little bit less experimentation as the one on Charlie does. It's shorter, and I think it's more fun, and it feels like more of an actual approach. The original Click is like, I love my friends, like we're badass women, you know, we're cool, we're hot, you know, and this Click is like, I miss my friends really badly. I don't like seeing them only through a computer. And like, you know, that is a sentiment. I am I am not that hot. My friends, some of them are hot. Not all of them are that hot. You know what I mean? I can't relate all the time, Charlie, but I can relate to seeing my ugly friends on Zoom. Thanks, guys, for doing this podcast with me.
Yeah, that's fun. Love that.
Love this for us. Love this for us.
But like, like I like the song. It's hard to compare. It's like comparing like apples to a 2.0 or something like that. It's like they're like incomparable. They're two different things. Any other lowlights? Any other songs?
Let me
dips,
check one of
something
these
like that.
last two. I think one of these last two spoke to me less. I don't know. I mean, what I will say that I appreciate, which we haven't hit on totally yet, is that like some parts of this album like really are like really have brought back the Alice DJ like fired up early aughts like house sound and like really updated it.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that because I love that era of electronic. And there are certain moments, I want to say maybe even in anthems or visions, where it's like that feels like it almost feels like a sample of a very early aughts house song.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure who Alice DJ was, and then I looked them up and just played their top song, Better Off Alone.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah.
That's the song. That song. Like that, I know.
Sure.
It's like somehow it's just one song. She's a one-hit wonder, but that song is a movement for me. That song is a movement and a moment. Yeah, I'm not crazy about anthems.
Sorry, I just did the same thing Sean did.
Right?
Yeah, no, yes. No, Vision sounds just like that.
Yes, okay, good. This is what I'm thinking. I'm going to say I don't love anthems as much as the other songs on here.
Anthems is really lyrically like some of the best on this album, I think.
Yeah.
I really, really like anthems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think anthems is her mission statement. That's what she's doing. Like that's what she's doing as an artist. She's making anthems. Like she's also saying like my life is so boring. Like I'm so understimulated with this pandemic. Like I'm trying to stimulate myself like through like all this stuff. And then like I want anthems. I want to like go to New York and party and stuff. So I'm making an anthem called Anthems. I think that's really smart. I think that's awesome. Like, and really quickly about Visions, like you said, like it kind of has this sample of this like older school house thing. I also like how like you kind of, because I listened to that, I was like, oh, she's just doing this. Like, but then like it kind of like the song kind of melts and it kind of like, it's kind of, I think it sounds like there's like an alarm at the end. And it's like kind of like she's like imagining a rave. Like this is the future, like, where we get to like be together and rave and party again.
Yeah.
And then it's like then like you go back, you could, if you re-listen, you just like go back to Pink Diamond and I'm like Zoom sexing with someone basically. I think that's really smart.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah. Any highlights? Like,
anyways.
I mean, I like a lot of these. I mean, Forever, obviously, that one obviously got like a lot of playtime. That one's fucking great. Like I said, Claws. I don't know. Both Detonate and Enemy work for me. And I think it also speaks to like what I like in a song. I'm like, oh, this is really pop forward, chorus forward. So I really like those.
Enemy has really, really slick production on it. The beginning chorus and the like synthy sound it almost has. It's like almost like 80s to a degree.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's really sexy
Thompson
and I really like that song.
Yeah.
I love
the chorus is great. The maybe I'm an enemy.
Yeah.
Like you remember that chorus. You're not going to forget that chorus, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, with exception of Seep 2.0, like I feel like all these songs have like crazy good hooks and choruses that act like get stuck in my head for sure. I think Pink Diamond, like that song's fucking great.
Yeah.
I feel like once we get to the song, I love it.
I think it disorients you and pulls you in immediately for me. Like,
guys, I'm annoying. I have a problem with I have a
Mano's sleeping through the like that'll give me a heart attack.
I'm annoying this
Mano's
way in
like,
general.
whatever.
Like even when movies are like, building and establishing, I'm like, what is the movie?
Mano has his 45-minute cut of Dune.
I was literally thinking Dune.
Didn't finish Dune. There you go. Didn't finish Dune. I was like, okay, here we go.
But yeah, I think Pink Diamond too. It just like, I think it's such a great opener for the album as far as.
And that song is so long. I could see why you would like it, Mano, too.
Yeah. I mean, the beginning reminded me of Lady Gaga's Aura song, which at the beginning of Art Pop, which I was like, okay, you're having fun, you're having a laugh, but it feels more fun for the artist
over shepherd's pie.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt more fun for the artist than the audience.
Yeah,
that's my take.
I can see
that's my take.
yes.
Please disagree.
Interesting.
No, Mano, I agree entirely. I don't have any.
Wow.
But so Pink Diamond is the idea. I think this is a great quarantine album. I think this is like kind of like the amuse bouche to like Inside, like the like kind of like they're kind of like one and the same in a lot of ways. But the idea of it's the harshness and aggressiveness of the song is subconsciously deflated by the fact that she's recording this in her room. Just like her in a room going, I just want to go real hard. I just want to go real hard. Just quietly, just like in her house or something like that.
You can imagine her like pacing and like getting all like pent up and stuff.
No, and this song is almost impossible to listen to in a room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very Yolandi. It's very Deontward Yolandi. I'm like, I'm singing this song from underneath your bed at 4 a.m. You know,
but that's what we want to do.
Go real hard. I just want to go real hard. That's her knocking out under your bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock out the bed. Highlight for me, "Enemy" is my favorite song on this album. I know we already said "Enemy." I think "Detonate," "Enemy," I finally understand. That's like the trio to me. That's like, you listen to those three songs, they're like literally perfect all together. I love when Charli does a little bit more like violent almost in like imagery, at least. In "Detonate," the like vocal like tick 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 she does with her voice throughout the song is so good. I finally understand. I love my therapist says I hate myself really bad, you know, and it's talking about like learning how to be loved, you know. As we know, I've already talked about that 15 times.
Yeah.
But that's like something I had to like really deal with during the pandemic. So it's like, finally, I can relate to Charli in some way. My boobs are not as bouncy. My friends are not as hot. But we both do not like ourselves. So that works out, you know? Man, am I doing that over vulnerable thing that Mano at the beginning was talking about how much he hated, and then Andrew referenced again later?
I've known you for a while, though.
Andrew hated it. Andrew hated it.
Mano's fine.
No, Mano, before we started recording, you said, I hate when Andrew overshares with me and always says crazy things. I hate it. You better not do it on the podcast. And you guys better not call me
I
up.
told you not to fucking use the audio. I told you not to fucking use that audio. I'll sue your asses.
Clip it in here, Sean.
I got it.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on everything you're saying. I relate too much is what I'll say really quickly. I relate too much. Therapy, holy shit. My therapist, okay, I'll say this. Who cares? My therapist today literally was like, "You're sad," and I was like, yeah," and he was like, "Say it," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You're sad," and I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Say you're sad," and I'm like, "I'm sad," and it was like it worked, and I also hated it. I hated it, but I was like,
yeah, of course.
Can we just laugh about my problems?
Oh, totally. Well, it's the thing that, you know, we all know. Like, if your therapist is laughing at you, you're doing a good job at therapy.
You're winning.
You
defeated him. By the way, this is the part of this. This is the part of the show where we all like go around and say, "I'm sad." So
yeah. Oh, good.
Oh wait, Mano. So it sounds like you're sad.
Yeah,
so
apparently
sad,
I'm
right?
sad.
I'm sad too.
Yeah.
I'm also pretty sad.
I'm not sad. I'm listening to Pink Diamond right
now. Thank you for the vulnerability. But
it's underneath your bed. Run away.
Sorry, guys. I'm going real hard right now. I can't tell you if I'm being sad or not.
Enemy's like Enemy reminds me of the Carly Rae Jepsen song. This Love Isn't Crazy. That song is kind of like we had Josh Gondelman on that episode where we talked about that one, and he had this really smart point about like, because we're so close, because we're like, you know, lovers and stuff like that, we have the most ammunition against each other. We could hurt each other really badly.
Yeah,
if we want
because you have to be intimate.
Yeah. But like that song is saying we're not going to, because love isn't crazy. Love isn't supposed to hurt you in that way. We're going to use restraint and stuff like that, and like care and like delicacy and stuff like that. Where in Detonate, it feels like she's like, will I explode or not? You know, I think that's really, really sad, really beautiful. The idea of like, I don't trust myself. How can you trust me? Like, why should you love me, but also do you love me? Like all those things fighting each other, and it's just like I really love the ending where it's just like the tension's building and building and building. Like, will I explode? Will I detonate? And then it just stops. The song just stops. So it's like kind of leaving it to the audience, that unresolved tension of like, what's going to happen next? Like, what's going to happen in my relationship and stuff like that. I really think that's awesome. I think that's so cool.
I didn't pick that up. I don't know why.
As soon as he heard
it.
the ticks at the beginning, he skipped the song.
Any highlights you want to like kind of get through a little bit more that we haven't talked about?
I think this album is really fantastic.
It's
We've covered a lot of what I wanted to talk about, or like as we've kind of talked.
Yeah.
But I've expressed it. It's like the perfect pandemic art piece where it's not too focused on the pandemic, and we can all relate. You know what I mean?
Who can relate?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah,
Or
it's not like remember when bags couldn't be touched? Wasn't that a weird week?
Remember when you sprayed your groceries
Wash your food for
reason?
20 minutes. Yeah.
Remember when Ted Cruz like didn't have toilet paper for like 6 months? But
Oh my God. Remember when they were like, no, if you're sick, wear a mask, but you don't wear a mask. Just kidding. We all wear masks.
by the way, like we just wrote a great hook.
Yeah,
But like we collaborated on
Yeah.
that hook. Wow. We're just like Charlie. Any other observations? Any other kind of like
I think Claus is the craziest production on this album too. If you can listen to Claus, this album is for you. If you listen to Claus and you like it, this album is for you.
the music
You know.
video is fun too, like so cute. Like and, she just like
Very quarantine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last point I'll make about the entire album is she really perfects an instrumental outro in this album. I feel like her and her producers like really do a great job of like the way she uses extended outros is like now words no longer do it justice. Like now, like the emotions are so overwhelming that I'm just it's just gonna be a bunch of phonetic like at the essence of it, just like poured out into this instrumental and stuff like that. Like this is how I feel.
The ending of every song is perfect. I think the end of Visions when it's like thub 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 thub, and then the thubbing like fades in the background, like you're driving away from the club or like you're in another room at the club. Like, it rocks.
Like Andrew mentioned earlier too with Visions, that like what did you say? Like that siren kind of sound at the end. It was almost like she was like, yeah, at the club, and then that siren's like warning, you're coming back to reality. Like. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, for me, like the outro was yeah, I didn't mind the outro as much as I don't like that kind of thing. I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
Get that kind of thing away from me.
Okay, that kind of thing. I was like, okay, yeah, this works. I get it. Yeah.
So let's get through final thoughts and ratings. The way this works is we'll rate this album out of 10 with a fun metric at the end. So who would like to go first?
I want to hear how you do it, and then we'll see how much insight we're looking for.
Well, that's what's so tough is because it's like we've already. I mean, it's just restating what we've kind of already talked about. But like, I don't know. I really like this album. I do think it's a very Michael. You made a good point that it's like a very good balance of quarantine songs versus just regular songs. I guess I don't even know what you call them. Non-quarantine songs.
Yeah.
And I think the production is. I think it's the best sounding Charli album. I think listening to it again, I was like, this is my favorite Charli album. So I will give it 9 anthems and late nights out of 10.
I love this album. I think this is so good. I think this is excellent stuff. Like, I think to me, the highs on Charli are higher, in my opinion. Like the Gone and stuff like that. That's just like, there's nothing better than that. But other than that, like, I think this is way more consistently great. I think, even though like she's talking about this specific period in her life, it feels very timeless. The internal struggle of like loving this person, hating yourself, hating that you love this person, hating that you hate yourself, all that stuff. Really gorgeous, like really personal. And I think the thing that I'm coming out of this is like, oh, I get her now. I get her music. I started this mini series going like, I'm not sure what this is. And then now I really get, I really like it. So, I'm going to give this,
Are you like carrying the one? What are you doing? Are you like, is there a remainder? Is there an
I'm typing him some I'm running some calculations on my end.
You are? Okay, I'm literally asking, is there an equation? Is there a vibe?
Let me check this. No, I'm just like trying to come up.
We have a rubric.
Like
we have a rubric that we sent to everyone but you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. No worries. I'm going off vibe.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna give this
I do vibes.
I'm gonna give this 9 swooshes out of 10.
I love this album. I think it is, to me, it does not reach the same highs I think that Charli does with Just Gone on Charli. Gone is like her best song ever. Yeah. And this album, though, is her best album ever. It is a piece of art that I think can be listened to very easily anytime you want. Like, if you're listening to music, you have 30 minutes to listen to music, right? Like, and just listen to it all the way. You don't have to have one amazing song. You can just listen to the album. And I think it's so good. I on this re-listen, like, reawoke my love for this album. I think it's her perfect encapsulation of, like, art and expressing emotion, and like her music still sounds really fucking good and fun, you know? So because of that, I will give this album 10 intimate parties out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I got, like, that's the other thing I kind of got from her is like, she said like, I was so miserable not doing a project and stuff like that. Like, oh, I get her as an artist. I get exactly what she's feeling and stuff like that. So Mano, we turn to you now.
Look, guys, this album kicks ass. It's great. It's and like I can't shut up enough. It is. I love art that's literal and accomplishes a goal, entertains the audience, does not overextend the audience's attention span. I think that this does all of that. It gives you something familiar, but it also gives you something brand new, risks taken. It's fun. It's great. Easy to digest. Super cool. Like I said, even harkens back to some of those early aughts house moments, which I think is genius. It's fucking fun. And I enjoy Charli XCX. She's always just been around. And now with this album, I'm like, okay, I really get you, and I really feel like you deserve a spot in the bigger pop conversation. You're
absolutely,
great.
yeah.
And I'm gonna give it 9 Nintendo sellouts out of 10.
Born to play. Let's go.
Honestly, I'm so happy about that. But go. What are you gonna say, Andrew?
I was gonna say, like, this album too reminds me of Hugh Laurie.
Doctor?
Because of House?
Yeah.
Because House, yeah. Because it's House music.
Oh my god. Boo.
All right, I'm going to end the recording.
Oh my god.
Okay. So,
sorry, Mano. Cancel the massage. Let's get this done.
So let's get through our I've been meaning to listen to that. And we did playlist. The part of the show where we pick a song that we've been enjoying. Some could be related to this album. And we put it on our playlist.
Yeah, so I have a song that is probably one of the more unique picks I've put on the playlist. I think the production on this is really fun. I have a video game song that I think is just like an absolute blast to listen to. I wish Charli would make a song out of it.
Wow.
It is Chemical Plant Act 1 from Sonic.
Whoa.
Sega Sound Team. It's so fun. I have a mashup that I've been trying to working on my computer. It perfectly matches up with 911 by Lady Gaga.
Sick.
So no one can steal this when I do a drag show eventually. That will be what I do. That will be what I do.
Love it.
So yeah, like this is an artist who like basically is like blowing up, and is like, I think next year or like a year or two, he might be one of the biggest stars, like pop stars in the world, right? Like if he plays his cards right and stuff like that, which he's doing a really smart job with. Lil Nas X, he's a really great artist. Like, I love the new album a lot. And but he's also very savvy with memes and humor and stuff like that in the internet, the same way, maybe not the same way, but like in a similar way Charli is. Like, where he like loves to clap back at like homophobic people. He's very smart with like meme culture. He's very smart of just like trolling people in a fun way. But this song like really showcased his vulnerability. It's Sun Go Down.
You need an instant ease from your life where you got plenty of every hurt and heartbreak. You just take it all to the face. I know that you want to cry.
Kind of like the meats and like the heart of like why he's doing what he's doing, and just like the idea of like, yeah, I wanted to die when I was younger and stuff like that because I was gay, because I was black and stuff like that. And it really like, I'm so glad that I lived. I'm so glad that I took the leap of faith and like made the decisions I made and stood up for myself. And this is like, and like, I legit think this song could save lives and probably has. Like, I think in the way we kind of people look at Kid Cudi and go like, you saved my life, your music saved my life. I think people will say that about Lil Nas X in a few years. So
definitely,
yeah,
I'll go because we'll finish with Mano. My song that I'm going to put on the playlist this week is Incendio by Arca. Click.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love Arca. Like, reminds me a lot of the sound of how I'm feeling now. And this song just makes me feel like I'm like exploding and then being put back together and then exploding again and then just over and over again. It's just like hits very hard and it's a trip. So yeah, that's gonna be my pick.
Yeah, as it's supposed to, does it have to be something newish?
it doesn't give me whatever you want. Whatever you want. Yeah.
mine was from a 25-year-old video game. So
Okay, yes, of course. Good. Yeah, yours it was.
Fucking weirdo.
Okay.
yeah.
You fucking freak. Okay, I have a couple. Oh God, I'm trying to decide. So I listen to a lot of weird Paris lounge shit. Like, it's like this very
Stars Are Blind.
Fuck. This is not as elegant as that. But like weird, I don't know why in high school, like I really took a shine to like weird French, like European lounge blues shit. I think because it just like a lot of it is so gay, like just like so gay. I mean, you got to pop a dick in your mouth. Some of these.
Spot a dick.
Yeah. Spot a dick, pop a dick. And
see a need, fill a need.
Exactly. So this is really weird. Like, this is a really weird. It's just a weird, goofy gay lounge song called "Koop Island Blues" by a group called Koop, Koop. And yeah, so here's a snippet of it.
I'm sad alone. I'm so sad on my own.
Whoa, shit! Oh, it's so good.
Oh, fuck!
Oh no, I'm gay now. So like,
Yeah, you're gay now.
The yassification of Andrew
Oh
Lee.
my God.
Giving me gay slur.
Let's thank you so much, Mano. This is so
Oh my
great.
God.
So
Yeah,
Thanks
this
for
was
having
so
me.
great.
What a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything
What a
you would like to
damn
plug.
treat.
Yeah, anything you'd like to plug. Are you sad now, by the way?
Do I have to say it? Like, are you going to make me say I'm sad? Like my
Are you sad?
therapist? Are you going to make me say it? I am sad.
You're stronger for it.
vulnerability.
Not
Thank you
your
for
fault.
vulnerability.
I am
Our king. My king, my king.
Yeah, just follow me at my name, Mano Agapion, and then, listen to my irresponsibly long list of podcasts all over the place. If you love drag, you love trash, or you love music videos, you can find a pod for you.
Wow. Drag Her is a great podcast, y'all.
Thank you.
Literally. I mean, Sorry,
you.
not to hyper plug one of your things. That's just the thing.
Plug it.
I've listened for a long time.
It's also truly like
very good podcast.
Even if you're not into like drag or anything like that, you're just fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So it's for everybody, you know.
Thank you. You're fucking fun. I appreciate y'all so fucking much. And I guess I am no longer sad. Thank you.
Whoa,
Thank you.
Whoa.
we cured it.
Whoa.
I am not. Is this convincing? I am not sad.
Wow.
Wow, we love it.
You can follow me at Andre Lee on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Sean at Diabetic Twink on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Michael at Lemon Taco on Instagram and Twitter. Give us a rating on iTunes. If you give us a rating, we'll donate $1 to Chicago Freedom Schools. And if you like and leave a review, we'll donate $2. And then, Mano, do you have a closing sentiment to close out the episode?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I fine. Been very inspired by our time here today. Very inspired by our time here today. Hey, if you're making music, don't punish your audience. Give us the song. Where are the choruses? Okay.
Words first. Walking to the club. Words first.
Oh, this is so lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day. Click.